The divine source of the universe guides my life and all my finances. All is well, all is well. The divine source of the universe guides my life and all my resources. All is well, all is well. Good evening, everyone. Hello, it is Thursday. Welcome to Patiently Waiting for Nothing podcast. And this is episode number 7. Yay! Thank you if you have been joining us each week. It's wonderful to have you here with us. And I just want to let you know that you're speaking to or listening to Rita Stewart, also known as Shemsu-t. I am a life coach. Well, some people call me a master life coach, but I am really just a coach of life, and mostly my own. And I'm here to share with you just some insights that's coming from my book that I wrote probably about 20 years ago. And it's called Patiently Waiting for Nothing. And each week we actually have one of the Master Force coaches to come on and talk to us and really share with us some of the insights that they're using right now based on the things that are happening. I mean, this is a whole different ball game many of us are living through. I've never lived through anything like this, right? So, but this book seems to be very timely, especially with a lot of the topics that we have. Now, for those of you who would like to purchase the copy of the book for yourself, it's available on Kindle. And if you have Prime, I believe it's free. Otherwise, it's probably about $10, okay? And then I just wanted to share, every week I try to tell you a little bit something about the book, just so you can get an idea of what it's like as me, the author, sharing this with you. And in the book, there are 3 sections that kind of demonstrate the conversation that we have. And I would like to say that the first session is between Miss Helen and Bobby. These are the heroes of our dialogue. And you get to meet them. One is very much a teacher, and the other one is very much the student. And then the second section of the book would be the teachings that Miss Helen shares with Bobby. And then the third section is that in each chapter, we actually share with you a book or resource that will take you deeper into the topic that we are discussing. Okay, so those are the 3 sections of the book. And again, you can purchase it on Kindle or, just continue to listen to us every week. And tonight we are on chapter number 7, and we are talking about Affirm. And who we have with us is one of the most affirming coaches that I know, and that's Tanya Smith. Tanya, are you with us?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. I am wonderful. How are you?
I am great. I am so thankful to have you join us on this call. And just earlier today, I was thinking about, Tanya's birthday is coming up. And you know what I remember? That 7 of Diamond, and we're in episode 7.
Oh, wow. Isn't that something? That is true.
I love when the universe does that. Okay? That was all universe, because I was like, oh my God, she is a 7 of Diamond, and this is episode number 7. How perfect is that? So why don't you go ahead, tell us a little bit. Let people get to know you and hear about you and what you're up to in life.
Okay, I'm Tanya Smith, a mother of 3 wonderful, loving children and 2 grandchildren, the loves of my life.
Yes.
They're 10 and 4, and most people know all about my little 10-year-old one. I've worked for the state of Illinois for the last 33 years as a public service administrator. I'm currently and moving towards retiring at the end of December 2020.
Okay, we'll see.
This is, I have to clarify because I think I've said this before, but what I do know, I've been in the process of retiring for the last 3 years.
Yes, you have.
A story within itself.
Okay.
But I can truly say I am so ready now.
Oh, good.
And I have truly set my intentions to finally do this year, where I can move to the second part of my life, works and purpose. And the other thing that I do is I'm a life coach, and I coach others to ascend to their next level or to fulfill their purpose and destiny in life. I am a Master Force life coach that was certified in 2013. My coaching class was one of the first online classes.
Yes,
and
it was.
And that year, I created my own coaching business in 2013 called Ascending for Life, LLC. I conducted several workshops on vision board creation, sensuality workshops, where I would share how I enjoy tea for pleasure, for healing, and also that I have my own line of teas called Sensuality, which I'm rebranding and we'll be bringing them out again in the fall.
Ooh, I love that. I can't wait for that. I remember when we used to come to your tea shop. Where was it? In Homewood, right?
Yes, I had an office in Homewood, and I would conduct a lot of my coaching sessions and workshops within that little conference room we
yes.
inside of there. But great times during that time.
You know, and I just had a question. So, are you currently still working from home?
Oh, yes, remotely right now. Yes. And trust me, this is how the universe works. I was saying to myself, at least in my own head, I was like, okay, if I could just work from home, I could do this maybe 2 more years. But what I do know, doing remote stuff, it has become very, very clear to me. Hell no, I will not want to work another 2 minutes if I could just do it right now. But
well, listen,
I'm wait for the December. Okay?
You have obviously earned your time, okay?
yes, I have. I truly have. Believe me.
Well, then I truly acknowledge you because you've had a work day and now you're spending time with us. I hope we can have just a joyful time where it relaxes you and replenishes you and it doesn't feel like work. That's my intention, okay?
I'm already enjoying myself, you know.
Oh, wonderful. So now I know that you actually read this book years ago and you probably refreshed for this call, but what did you think about Patiently Waiting for Nothing?
What I think about it was I definitely could relate to both Bobby and Helen. Basically, I have been both Bobby and Helen. Well, not homeless, but
right.
As Bobby, I would relate to the fact that I felt that I am a seemingly put together corporate businesswoman trying to find myself at one time or another. And then I become more and more like Helen, where I'm a free spirit woman who loves and nurtures those who the universe send my way. So
yes.
I relate to both of those characters. And I actually absolutely adore all the quotes and the affirmations inside the book that I've been using on my own as well, you know.
Yeah, I actually do. We are actually Facebook friends, and I actually look for your quotes on a daily basis because you're always having something for me. I just love that, that's so thank you again. Every day I know you see me going like and share.
Yes, you do. I know that Facebook, as some people would say, is the devil, but others would say it's a God sent. Yeah. So it just depends on where you are,
Yes, it does. And it depends on what you're there for, right?
yeah, it's a lot of negative stuff on Facebook right now, and a lots of stuff about the coronavirus. And so I've been doing, I just get out there and I post the positive things and to affirm. For me, a lot of times it's for me, it's like I'm getting on there, I save them and I put them out there, and and people look forward to them. I've had people say, "Oh, I really enjoy your uplifting and your quote, because that's just the way I live in my life right now. That's the way I'm flowing right now."
But right, and so of course, when we talk about affirm and affirmations, you really do come to mind because that is who you are. That is something, and it's so interesting because what's the name of your company? Ascending for Life, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a story in itself. Ascending for Life, yes. I mean, you kind of know it, back in the day when I was in your course, in your class, and you was like, we had, what we call them, projects we had to do and complete.
Expert projects.
Expert projects, that's exactly what they're called. Right. And mine, me doing it, at first, me and my little resistant self was like, I don't want, first of all, I didn't want to take the class online because I was like, I don't want to do that. I learned better in the classroom, And so.
You sure were resistant. I remember now.
I didn't hear you say that again.
I said you sure were resistant. I remember that now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just that little Taurus in me that's just like fixed. Yes. It has to be this way in my mind and blah blah blah. That's the first thing I would do is resist. I'm like, I don't want to do that. But after I did it, we were the actual first course online for you. Yeah. And during that journey, I actually enjoyed it better.
You said that too. You was like, well, now that I'm doing it, I like this better than being in the classroom.
Yes, it was. Because, I was still working and still trying to do this, that, and the other. And I can get in my bed and just like get online and just do what I needed to do,
That's right.
So,
That's right.
That was ultimately the God sent kind of way to do it for me. But as the expert project, I pulled ascension and yoga. I'm like, I don't know nothing about neither one of these things.
And that was the idea. Hello.
I remember calling you and saying, what is this ascension stuff? I don't know nothing about ascension. And I was like, oh my God, it was this, and I don't even know if I believe any of this.
Right.
Well, once I did my research and I began to conceptualize and visualize what ascension meant to me and how I could use it in my everyday life and function, and guess what? Voila, my business began to form in my imagination and in my visualization, because at that point I felt like, ascending. I can teach people how to ascend to their next level, because this is truly what I'm doing with myself right now. So,
and, right. I remember you calling me and you said, Moot, I just want you to know the name of my business. And I laughed so hard. I was like, okay.
I'm like, wow, that was just, who knew?
But
I didn't know, it's like, wow.
But if we actually allow ourselves, right, and that, and it's okay to resist. It's just that we can't dig our heels in, because sometimes that skepticism gives us a chance to, like you say, do your research and check it out. Because it's better to form your own opinion than to be talked into something, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's that resistance. It serves its purpose. Having a little skepticism.
It serves. That has always been my little first defense to kind of like, okay, well, maybe let me check this out, and then once I can get inside my own, spirit and just kind of say, okay, let me meditate on this and let me figure out how I'm gonna do this, and then it works for me. It works.
Right. Because if I recall, I was not going to do a class that year, and I believe Tammy Tammy asked, and I think I was traveling or something I was doing, and I was just like, why are y'all bothering me? And I said, okay, well, I guess we might as well just go ahead and do this. And then, yeah, right. And then you say, oh, well, now you're going to do it online? I don't want to do that online.
Yeah, I sure did.
That is wonderful. And now you're doing Ascending for Life. See there? That's beautiful.
Yeah. It was meant to be, like you said, God always knows what we need when we need it. And we may not always be in the knowing, but believe me, if you get quiet enough, you can hear the knowing.
You can hear it, right? But what was it like? So, Tanya, for people who, they can hear us and they can hear how, we've arrived at some point, but there was a time when we were not there. You've described a little bit of it, but before you were dealing with affirming yourself, what was your life like?
Oh wow, you got a minute or two?
I do. We have a lot of minutes for you. Go ahead. Tell us.
Well, let's talk about how I became this self-aware, free-thinking person that I am today.
Okay.
But it's not always that person. Well, my spiritual journey began so long ago when I was about 8 years old, sitting on a concrete step outside one summer day, asking God, why am I here and what is my purpose?
At 8? Okay.
8 years old. I mean, it was almost like I was having an out-of-body experience at 8. I don't know how, I can't even explain that to you or anybody else, but it was like that. It was like time stood still for me at that moment, because it was just me and God, so that's what was going on. However, well, I definitely didn't get that answer right then, but it was a seed that was planted and what would become of my spiritual journey or self-awareness and spiritual understanding. So my next truth of, becoming who I was, realizing who my true self is, it took me, that journey took me at around 8 or 9 to a Baptist church where I became baptized.
Of course.
Yeah. So, one thing I can say, and I appreciate, because my parents did not force us to church, they did not. They would go, we would go, we would go every now and then, but it was not like a forced situation. But me, the person who I was inside, had this spiritual longing, this craving to be connected to God, but just really wasn't sure how to get it. But, others would say, well, maybe your parents should have took you to church. No, they didn't. Because then at that point, I would, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It was forced upon me. I got to learn how to come to it on my own, and with a little of their guidance, of course. I did, like I said, we would go every now and then, but it wasn't something where I had to go every Sunday. No. Right. So as I continued to grow, I started praying and, for deeper understanding of God. While in college, I was searching different religions, not really finding the religion or the church for me, but still believing and praying and trusting God to guide me. Well, after that, after college, I got married to an ordained minister.
Okay. You jumped 2 feet in. Okay.
I got married to an ordained minister, and there my church life grew, and my relationship with God got deeper, but I call it my valley experience, because during that time I was away from my family because I had moved to California, and it was just me, him. I had a few relatives in Cali, but not a lot. But believe me, that was a valley experience for me. And plus, being married to a minister, I was getting the Bible thrown down my throat, okay? To the point where I was like, what the hell is he talking about? I didn't really know. I just didn't. And so it made me have to get on my knees. It made me have to read and to get an understanding. so that I can know, at least know what he was talking about,
Of course.
So I at that time the relationship began to deepen with God, but not necessarily my relationship with the church.
Uh-oh.
Being the free spirit and forward thinking person that I am, I questioned the church doctrines and their rituals or whatever. People wouldn't think that the church has rituals. They absolutely do.
Okay.
So, I was like, So, I still went and I still started reading and desiring a deeper connection to God. And I did still do a lot of praying and talking to God. And that way I began to know God for myself. I didn't have honestly, I began to know God then because I was talking with him on a regular basis and just really getting to know the God that was, deep in my consciousness, But next thing happened, my marriage with my spouse after 7 years was ending. I moved back to Chicago because I was missing my family and the support of community that I wasn't getting in California. It just wasn't the same. I needed a sense of community. And trust me, California did not bring that for me.
Okay. So, that's a different area. Yeah, you want to party, you can party, but it's a difference from that community.
Yeah, it just didn't have it for me. So I came back to Chicago, and during that time, I started still, I was still praying, but then I started adding journaling into my life daily. I used to sit on my mom's sofa and journal. To the point my prayers was the journal. I was journaling, and me and God was having a conversation about what I wanted in life, and I would put all that stuff into my little journal, and I started seeing some of this stuff manifest, and I didn't have any clue about affirming and creating or visualizing. I didn't know any of that, but I was doing some of that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I didn't know what I was doing. But I did know that this habit brought me peace, it brought me joy, and a deeper connection to God, That's okay. And then fast forwarding, next, I got married to my second husband.
Okay.
Wow. Can I just say, wow. I got married to my second husband. And trust me, so when I got married to my second husband, everything that I learned in my valley experience in California, I needed it quick, fast, in a hurry in this new marriage. Oh my God, which I was quickly introduced to my master teacher.
Okay.
You know what the master teacher is. To elevate to my next level.
That's right.
Without knowing the spiritual significance of these lessons and that journey. Okay? Wow. Ooh-wee, baby girlfriend. I was 29 years old when I got remarried, and you know what that means.
You were in your Saturn return, that's for sure.
And I didn't know what that meant, but God knows.
Right.
Lord have mercy, baby, let me tell you. Ooh-wee. If I didn't know how to pray then, I quickly had to pray. I mean, I was just constantly praying and journaling and going to church. It's so funny because I kept those journals for years and years and years, and I would see in there how angry I was and how, frustrated I was. But my journals were basically prayers to God. So I guess I was just praying and,
venting. You were venting, yeah.
Venting to God at that point.
Yes.
And I continued to journal, and I continued to pray, and I continued to go to church at that time. And, it was funny because my ex went to church with me at first. I always say that he sent his representative when I first met him, and then I got to know the real him when I said I do. And I was like, okay, Lord, me and you prayed, and I said I wanted a knight in shining armor, and that ain't what I got. Trust me.
Well, it's so interesting because, the traditions that you're bringing up about church and marriage, that we're actually made to think there's something there that will save us. But if we're not grounded in our own spirituality, nothing will save us. You know, and you literally use prayer and journaling as your lifeline, and then community also, because community is a form of our spirituality. Being with people, congregating, being in the energy of people that we love and people that love us. That community is important, and it's part of our spiritual well-being.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, with the master teacher, I began, and then I went to church for several years. And then I was finding out that I needed more spirituality than I was getting in the church. Mm-hmm. So I made a very hard, difficult decision to leave the church. Believe me. I left it, and I was like, had been married to an ordained minister, me being in the church for several years. And I would just sit sometimes in church. I would just go. I wouldn't even, how people go for the music and all that. I would always make sure I would go to church after the music was over. Because I was trying to hear something, the message, the word. I was craving something that I just wasn't getting. So, but in the meantime, in the background, I'm still praying and journaling and still not knowing all about how to affirm and create these things in my life and bring it forth. I didn't know how to do all of that, but okay, I decided I would leave the church. And then after about 11 years of praying and on my knees saying, "Oh Lord, help me here with this guy that, the man that I was married to that." But anywho, long story short, I filed for divorce. And then, my God, after that, it wasn't enough for me to just go through that. I had to go through 6.5 years of the most horrible divorce, of fighting and not agreeing on how to be divorced.
Wow.
Okay. Right. So finally by 2007, 2007, I started breathing again. After being divorced, I started breathing again. I still was praying and journaling. Then my niece came about 2 years later and asked me to, TT, can we do a vision board party? And I'm like, okay. I didn't even know what a vision board party was. Miss Tanya went and researched it, and I created my first vision board party in 2009 with a small group of my friends and family. While during that time, in preparing for the party, I created a few of my own vision boards. One where I wanted to be a life coach. I had no idea what a life coach was, because I really had not heard of what a life coach was back then.
Right.
But that was divine connection right there. It was like, okay, this is what you're going to do. Yeah. At that time, I had no idea how I was going to do that. But that's the power of putting something on a vision board, thinking about how that's going to happen. And then it did not happen for me until, several years later, when 2014, I also had put on there that I wanted the online training business and online business. So all of that is starting to come together. But the coaching thing was to come to me in 2012. Fast forward to 2012, where I met this wonderful soul, Miss Tammy Matthews.
Yay, Tammy! I love Tammy.
My first life coach and health mentor, I met Tammy at this IMAG conference, which was the Illinois Minorities in Government. I really didn't want to go, but I promised a friend that we would go together. While looking at the brochure the night before, there were 2 different workshops conducted by 2 life coaches. And what was the odds of that?
Okay.
And after the time, it was Miss Tammy was one of them. Oh my God, when I went into the room and I met Tammy, it's like there was such a connection between she and I that I can't even explain it to you. I tell people it was like a soulmate, not, and people think that soulmates are only romantic, but that's not true.
No, that's right. That's right. It's not true. You have friends as soulmates for real. I got all mine.
She was truly a soulmate, to the point where she was helping me. She introduced me to things that would change my life forever. In meeting Tammy, I was introduced to detoxing.
Yes.
Meditation.
Yeah.
Eating healthy. Affirmation. Releasing a lot of negative thinking, and to really connect to my next level. So she was truly the godsend. Through Tammy, I met you.
Yay, me. Yeah. You know what? I'm listening to all these sevens in your life, though, Tanya. You literally, I don't know the last time you sat with your destiny card, but baby, you are living your destiny. If you look, that we might have to talk about book next, because that's this it's a lot going on right there.
Look, girl, I can tell you, not only do I have that going on, I have these double portion synchronicity things going on in my life. I'm married to Randy. What kind of that? Some days I feel like I needed my head examined, okay? It wasn't enough that I had the first one. I had to have another one.
Oh my goodness. Well, at least now, before you get married again, you have plenty of people around where you can get readings, you can get natal charts done, you can get relationship coaching, you can take a couple school class.
Girl, look, I've done a lot of that already. I've taken your couples class, right? But you're right. I have the support.
Yes.
I met you. I met, like I said, I met Moon, and I became a Master Force life coach. Yeah. And through Tammy, I also realized that I no longer wanted to eat meat, and it's been 6 years since I haven't.
Has it been 6 years?
Has been 6 years, girl.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Look, I remember too, when I first met Tammy, I thought, girl, you're trying to kill me.
Okay. Like, don't make me do that.
It's like, but the first time I started detoxing, I was like, what the heck is this? Oh my God, that 21 day of detoxing. But that was the best thing I ever did, because it freed me from some stuff that I was struggling with and that I didn't know that I was, it was like, I don't know. And in that first 21 day detox, I learned that, I did it in the middle, right smack in July.
In the summertime with all of the festivals. Oh my God, that's courageous right there.
All around me, it's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But it was, it was truly meant to be. I don't know. I just appreciate the whole community of like-minded individuals. And, I'm just happy that this connection has, with Tammy and with you, has enriched my life. I can put words and meanings to some of the things that I had always been feeling throughout my spiritual journey, and not feeling guilty about the fact, oh, well, you got to go to church to connect to God. No, I know you don't have to. And some people, I think, know that as well. But I just don't need to be a part of the doctrination of church. And, you got to be this. You got to do that. This is the only way to God. This is the only way you're going to go to heaven. And otherwise you're going to go to hell. And, when I began to just release all of that and just let it be, and let me be, to really get in touch with my true self. My true self is a spiritual being.
Yes. And that right there is an affirmation. My true self is a spiritual being. You know,
Yes,
I mean, how many times do we see that statement? You know, we are humans we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
And that's really not true. Okay, because we always spirit regardless of what we doing.
Okay, I like that. Right. We're all spirit, and it's all a spiritual experience too.
We don't get to say because we having a human experience. No, we spirit, period. Yes. I don't care what kind of experience you are having.
That's powerful. That's powerful. I love that, Tanya. Wow. But you know, I want to point to something, and I want to have you elaborate on it a little bit more, because you said that on your vision board, you actually put life coach, but you didn't know what it was. And I actually had that experience too when I was creating concept life coach. I had never heard of it, but I had been sent to coaching school when I was an IT consultant for Motorola, and they were teaching me how to work with how to manage my department, right? But I was like, well, people need coaching on the street. I can take this, I can take this to the hood. So that was my thinking, right? But if you look at it, life coach is a calling. Right. You know, it's a calling. And so can you speak to that in your own life, how you've actually moved into that?
Well, it is funny because I think when I interviewed with you to start the class and filling out the forms and stuff, I've been coaching people for years. One of those people, people come to me to help them to figure out some things in their lives or whatever it is, what's the best clothes to wear for this or what's this to do. I mean, all of that is coaching, there's so many different types of coaching out there now. Back then in 2009, it was just becoming, a little bbit more and more mainstream. Now it's mainstream everywhere,
Everybody a coach. Everybody should be a coach too, right? We need more of them, right?
Right. And then there are people who thinks that it's a bunch of crap. But, hey, it is for whoever is being drawn to him. Like the Bible said, if he has an ear, let him hear. If you hearing that calling and that yearning out for you, because some people in our community, they don't want to go to a therapist. I've been in social services for years and years and years. I know for a fact that therapy does not work unless you yield yourself to that process and do the work. Yeah. And the same thing with coaching. And the difference with coaching versus therapy, and especially in what I do for a living, you're pretty much kind of forced into it or to do something to get something. But in coaching, you enter into a relationship or an experience that you willingly and open to do. That's because right. You're trying to better who you are. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. But back to me and the vision board and putting that on there, it was all, God. It wasn't me. Because I didn't know what that meant. But then after I put it on there and after a minute, I started doing some research on what it meant. And I'm like, okay. I even researched some schools and, I'm like, I don't know, this costs a little bit too much right now. I can't afford to do that. And, it just wasn't the time or the season for me to actualize my vision. But I had already planted that seed. That's right. What I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I planted that seed. So down the line, when I get to meet Tammy, it was like already, it's not her. Here it was time. It had been watered over the years, even though I even just put the board down and I didn't really look at it anymore. I would see it, but I didn't do anything about putting the affirmations to it because I didn't really know how to do that, at that time. Right. But I did, in my mind's eye, visualize me becoming a coach. Wow. Even though I had no idea what that was, Mm-hmm. But it was just meant to be.
It was. Yeah, I can hear that. And the fact that you have all of these counter experiences, you have so many things, how people say you learn the best from your mistakes. I mean, those lessons get so deeply ingrained, and then you start listening for the answers, right? It's like, yeah, let me check this out. Wait a minute, because I don't want to do that again. So you
absolutely. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people can tell you what they don't want, but they don't know what they want.
Yes.
So they need to, and not to need to, but something inside of them should be drawing them, like this was drawing me. It was drawing me to it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't you. It's like when you are being called to it, anything that you're being called to, you're going to be equipped to do.
That's right.
Period.
That's right. And I think, that's what the difference in our coaching school is not so much that we teach people how to coach. We teach people how to take care of themselves so that they can coach. You know what I'm saying? And we actually teach people how to hear themselves so that they can coach themselves. And a lot of times we're not connected. I love how you kept speaking about praying and listening for your spirit. And that's the work, and journaling. That's the thing, because God, the universe, is always communicating to us. So even when you're working with a client, if you're not receptive to God speaking to you, you might miss an opportunity to speak into someone's life.
Yes.
So we teach those internal pieces more so than what most other coaching schools, because we figure you can pick up, you can show people how to schedule, how to communicate, all of that left brain. You can demonstrate that. But learning how to connect to your soul,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what Tammy did for me. And a lot of times, me being my little resistant self, I was like,
Oh yeah, I can see your face right now. It's all right though. It takes all of us, right?
They say it takes all kind to make the world go round, but I just know that she was definitely what I needed at that time. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that went on in the background to get me to that point, However, I'm just so forever grateful, and I haven't looked back.
That's cool. That's cool. And Tammy, I think Tammy's going to be on at the end of June. I think Tammy's going to be on. She's already scheduled to be on here. So yeah, we definitely.
Okay.
But so now, what about Affirm? Now, in your life, how do you actually, besides prayer and journaling, and you made a statement that, I didn't know how to affirm for my vision board. How do you affirm now? How do you use that process now?
Okay. Oh, I have so many examples of that in my life. But affirmation and affirming is just focusing my thoughts in a positive way. That is like me training my mind to envision positive outcomes. And I use affirmations to create an inner experience that manifests into the outer. Mm-hmm. And, my affirmations and visualizations help me to co-create with the divine my purpose of being, basically.
Yeah.
And it's like your brain is literally transmitting these communication to you, the universe, and God, that you have made an agreement to make this come to pass. And the brain works like this. It works literally. You can't just say, because the universe don't know the difference between make-believe and reality. Because make-believe and fiction, you have to know that you're communicating things, no matter if it's positive or negative. And people do a lot of affirming some negative stuff on a regular basis.
That's right. They sure do. I'm so tired. I'm like, oh, please stop saying that.
You get on my nerves. You make me sick. Those are affirmations.
Yes. I mean, that's what has me not try to be on Facebook, because people will say all they're affirming is the negative. That's it. I'm like, oh, Lord, let me close this right now.
Yeah. So, it takes you thinking and saying it very, the brain takes it very literal. Yeah. Meaning when you understand, you can see how this affects your emotion, your behavior, and even your physical well-being. People don't realize that the more negative you think and react and affirm, that's the more you're creating disease in your body.
Yes.
And negative experiences for your life.
And say more about that, because I want you to really draw out for people how Affirm and Create actually are, and you're doing a great job, because you're talking about how the brain actually does that. And then I want you to pull in the spiritual laws, because that's what we function on, spiritual laws.
Well, the spiritual laws of it is that what you create with God, it comes into pass, period.
Yeah.
It ain't no in-betweens between that.
Yeah.
That's the spiritual connection in itself. You know, like you could say to when how I do it for me is more for meditation. I'll sit down and be quiet about it. And even now when I'm not in meditation, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm affirming stuff on a regular basis. One of the things that I've trained my thoughts is that I renew my mind, I visualize thoughts, and I write them down and I affirm them. And what I started doing in my journaling, or not so much journaling now, is I created what I call every day my daily affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, what mine was today, my daily affirmations, and every day before I get up, I'm thanking God, for this moment or this thing. But what is working for me is that today's one was, I am a powerful creator. I create the life I want and I enjoy it.
Oh, yes. T-shirt.
And then the next one was, it's always about wealth and abundance. And that one I wrote, I'm open and receptive to all the wealth life offers me.
Yes.
And then I added love there, because, I'm desiring a mate, but also just to have more love in my life. But This one says, love surrounds me and everyone around me.
Yes.
And then the fourth thing that I have added to this, my daily affirmation, is gratitude. I have the part in there where I talked about what I'm grateful for. And then I said, I am grateful to prepare for my upcoming podcast and learn all I can about creating a successful podcast. Because that's something I desire to do on what I'm creating for myself and my business.
That's right.
And the last thing that I do in this daily affirmation is my intentions for today. Mm-hmm. And usually I write out, I work out 30 minutes, eat healthy, pray and meditate, drink 8 glasses of water, so whatever I'm trying to intend for my day, to set it off that way. So to me, it's like at that point, I'm creating what I want to do and affirming what I'm going to do for that day.
That's powerful, and that what you just described is a ritual. Something that you do, that you create and you look forward to. And then in the evening, you actually get to see, you get to experience the success of a day based on those intentions and those things that you created.
Yeah.
And it's simple. Right. Yeah.
And it doesn't take, I guess some people, there are a lot, I could actually do a class on how to affirm and how to create.
Oh, yes, of course.
It takes a lot of, there's so much more information that I can probably give to it. I mean, different people do different practices to get this done,
Yes.
Like some people write down affirmations and they write them down 3 times. 3 different, the same affirmation. Mm-hmm. And then they breathe in and they see the action, they visualize this action becoming a reality. And that's at a time where you can get that spiritual connection, where you invite the spirit in to help you create what you want to happen in your life. And
right.
And some of my favorite affirmations, and one of them is, my mom used this one all the time. And it's a simple one. And I don't, I use this throughout the day sometimes, depending on what is going on in my life, And this one is, everything is in divine order.
Yes, it is.
Because, but what I add to that is, in my mind and my thinking is, everything is in divine order because it has to be. And why does it have to be? Because God said so. He worked, everything he does is in order, in divine order. He is, period. You know, all this other stuff that when chaos or whatever else is coming around you, if you just take a minute to just breathe in and just simply say that, everything is in divine order because it has to be. You know,
the whole universe is ordered. I mean, it's just order. Even inside of chaos, there's order. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And and then my other one is when I'm feeling like everything I need is already taken care of. You know, like if something is stressing my mind about whatever, bills or whatever happening, or if I'm going to do whatever it is, it's everything is taken care of.
That's
wonderful. And the one that I just started using was all that I need is within me. And do you know how powerful that is? Yeah. And the reason why I say I know it's powerful because I know that divine spirit lives within me. So all I need is within me.
Yes. Ooh, go ahead on, preach, girl.
I'm never alone because everything I need. Do we realize how much black girl magic that is?
Ooh, come on. Mm-hmm. That is.
Everything I need is within me. Not nobody else. Not your mama. Not your husband. Not your brother. Not your cousin.
Yes.
You.
Yeah. That's powerful. You know, I really want to emphasize the point when you said, I train my mind by visualizing and writing down my affirmations and then reciting them in my mind. I train my mind. And that's the power that actually generates that black girl magic. You know, train your mind. Do not let your mind get run over by the internet. You know,
the distractions of your day or whatever that is.
Yeah, and that's what that's what we do. We watch everything happening and we just let our mind wander on down that road, and then something go wrong and we say, "Oh no." Well, yeah, you have to train your mind.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That is really powerful. And then I wanted to say, do you have the quote for that chapter?
Yes, let's talk about that.
Yeah, this quote for that chapter. Go ahead.
It is, the quote for the chapter, let me get it. Life is now welcome to lead me to my highest and greatest good. Wow. This is truly where I am right now in my life's journey. Mm-hmm. How awesome is that? And the reason why I say that is because I'm releasing my current employment to actualize my second act, my new season.
Yeah.
I know that is all for my highest good.
Yeah.
And then also I looked at that as to say where I'm continuing to deepen my spiritual connection with God. I am so very excited to grow from glory to glory. Yeah. And when getting to that highest and grandest good, girl, that's from glory to glory.
That's right. And then also, you're moving in the direction of your calling instead of, spending so much energy doing a so-called job. Now, I'm sure you made a difference there too. That's not to say you didn't, but this gives a lot more. It speaks a lot more to the essence of that seven of diamond.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I realized that, my journey and my job it afforded me a lot of things, and I got connections with a lot of different people. Yes. And even then I did some coaching. Yes. I'm known as the tea lady, and people come in my office and sit, and then, I was like, okay, I need to start charging some people. No.
Charging at the job, I don't think that's legal, Mama. That's
I know. I did it freely, but I'm just saying, but then, I would offer them up tea. They wanted the tea. You know, it's something about tea that makes you relax and it clears your thought patterns, because you got to take a few minutes to sip it in, to take it in and enjoy it.
That's right. That's right. You know, the like I was saying earlier, that we have resources at the end of each chapter. And in this chapter, the book that we actually are inviting people to go deeper into is by Louise Hay. You Can Heal Your Life. Have you referenced that book at all in your coaching practice?
Oh, absolutely. I not only in my coaching practice, I live by it on a day-to-day basis, you know.
Well, how do you use it? Tell us about it.
Sure. I have them in my iPad in my note section, you know. Yeah. It's about I got what is it? Let me find one. Louise Hay's it talks about where I got sinus issues, you know. So I'm like, okay, you know, my sinus problem. And I go into her book and it says irritation to someone. Usually someone close to you is irritating you, you know. Like, okay, who is that and what I need to do? That's the part where you got to go do the work, you know.
Yeah.
But the affirmation to that, it says, I choose to declare peace and harmony with all the individuals around me. I surround myself with the love and goodwill. So, yeah, I use it all the time. And then I refer it to my clients as well.
Mm-hmm. And it's so funny because, you know, I know when I'm working with people and I say, well, let's see Louise Hay. Oh, that's the most irritating thing in the what? I'm irritated by somebody, but I live by myself.
Girl, look, that don't mean nothing.
That don't mean, come on, because our thoughts will irritate the heck out of us about somebody else who's not even there.
Yes, girl. Look, you know they bring it to your door. You ain't got to go nowhere.
That's right.
Bring it to your door, friend.
That's good. Now, as we're winding down, I want people to know what you're currently up to and what you're contributing, and then also how they can engage with you, because you've already thrown out a few bones that we can look forward to. But how can people, you know, stay in touch with you and stay up to date on some of the things you have coming up?
Well, okay, in the fall, I'm in the process of creating a podcast and a YouTube channel with Ascending with Tanya, where I will talk about my loves for tea, the health benefits, the best teapots, the infusers, the sweetener, and then I will, at that time, be reintroducing my special line of teas called Sensuella Teas. Also, I will be spilling the tea on how to flow and ascend into your next level in life. You know, so all of that is coming in the fall, but I still will do any individual coaching if people call and want to get started right now. I can help them to actualize some of their vision board things or visualization and how to affirm and how to just get centered and how to go to your next level. They could call me at my business number is 224-250-9025, or you can hit me up on my Facebook page with a private message, and I will get back with you.
And then what's your email? You have an email address too that they can write to, right?
Yeah, I do. I have some.
But no, the Ascending, I was thinking more like the Ascending for Life.
Oh, yeah, I have one, ascendingforlife@gmail.com. Yeah.
Because a lot of time people, you know, they like to write, you know, they want to send you, you know, an introduction to them about themselves.
I get it. You know, but yeah, that is me in a nutshell and how I affirm and create things in my life.
That is wonderful. And, you know, it's just been so much fun talking with you and just hearing, you know, I knew some of your path, you know, but seeing the sevens line up and seeing the dual synchronicities lined up. And I think it actually does speak to, you know, like you said, the resistance. So it's kind of like one thing show up and it's like, no. But that second time you have to surrender, right? You're going to learn this.
Absolutely. it's like they say you're going to learn today.
We're not doing threes with you, okay?
No, ma'am, no.
So that is powerful, you know, and then just, I love that whole thing, train your mind. I think we need to do a t-shirt on that one because, man, listen, train your mind, visualize, affirm, and recite your affirmations daily.
Yeah. And sometimes, like I said, in the midst of it, if you could just take a breath, say the simple thing of everything is in divine order. Everything. That is so powerful.
And everything really is in divine order. Thank you, Tanya Smith. Thank you, Tea Lady. And you know, next week we're going to have Rolana talking to us, and that's going to be exciting too. You know, I love catching up with all you guys like this.
And I have been listening to all the other podcasts, and they have been awesome. Yeah. They all have been much awesome. And the book is great too. It's wonderful.
Oh, thank you. You know, that was my path, right? That was my path to help me get to my next level of ascension, you know. And definitely we are ascending for life. We don't just arrive here. We'll arrive on the other side.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
All right, love. I'll catch up with you. Thanks again. And you guys join us next week while we talk to Rolana Johnson. You'll be glad you did. See you next time. Until then, peace.
Peace.